Hello, welcome to Hellenic Pagans. My name is Evan Regakis, and I am your administrator. The topic of this video is how to connect with the gods. It was prompted by we get a lot of these frequently asked questions. Questions like, how do I better worship the gods? Or how do I call on the gods? Or how do I contact the gods? How do I get their attention? Which is a very, very refreshing way of putting it, getting their attention. But in any case, basically we're all talking about connecting with the gods or contact. In most cases, the problem connecting comes from the manner in which the gods are perceived, as well as preconceived notions and expectations of the gods. Having a problem connecting means that perceptions, notions, and expectations are in need of some kind of adjustment. These adjustments we tend to do is we can make adjustments by learning how the ancient Greeks perceived their gods. What notions and expectations did they have about their gods? But the ancient Greeks, make sure you don't mix them up with Roman. Please don't do that. It's Greek. Look, although it is greatly camouflaged, especially when it comes to religious beliefs, but there is a big difference between Greek and Roman. The Romans may have copied the Greeks, as that's basically what all scholars tell you. But the thing is that, yeah, they might have copied the Greeks, but they weren't carbon copies. They were their rendition of, it's more of a corrupted copy, along Roman mentality, or along Roman thoughts and ideas. And of course, the idea of religion, according to the Romans, is very different than the idea the Greeks had about religion. The Romans seen religion as their saving grace from the fall of their empire. That is not really religion, but it was an enforced religion. So, all I'm saying, when I say learning how the ancient Greeks perceived the gods, the Greeks, not the Romans. The Romans did not see the gods the way the Greeks saw the gods. Okay. Why do I do that? That's messed up. I feel like a teacher. Okay, here we go. Okay, so if we look into the ancient Greeks and how they perceived and seen their gods, what you'll find is that the ancient Greeks believed everyone has a connection with the gods. As a matter of fact, the Orphic Mysteries taught we are all naturally born with this connection. not because we are somehow specially chosen by the gods or anything like that, but rather because the ancient Greeks believed that we all come from the gods. We are their creation. Divinity creates, and whatever divinity creates is divine. No? But the Greeks actually saw them as that they were their descendants. To the ancients, they were not only gods, but they were their ancestors. This connection was expressed in the Orphic mysteries as the recognition of your own divine self. The Orphic mysteries, the Orphic creation myth, or one of them, because there are a few of them, this creation myth says that man was created by the ashes of the slaughtered or burnt up titans that who killed Bacchus, tore him to pieces and ate him. And Zeus came down and zapped their ass to oblivion, and from those ashes, sprouted us. So, yeah. Imalakis ekipu katurisan, imalakis fitrasan. Greeks will understand what I just said, but okay. And anybody who understands Greek. So, the Orphics explained that man was created with a Titan earthly element, which is our body, let's say, and a divine element, that which actually gave or gives us life, and that was the Bacchus element. Since they ate, okay, anyways, this is how it's explained, so I'm just trying to do so mortals are made of two elements, according to Orpheus, an earthly and a divine element. So we have a divine self. Now, the divine self, according to the Orphics, they also called it Demona, which is what we like calling it. But in other terms, it's like a higher genius. So I don't like using the word soul, because soul is really has too many Christian connotations, and we don't need that. Well, I don't need that. But that's what that is. So the point is really that we should not be trying to connect as though we are divided or separated from the gods, or we're very different, and and we have to plead with them, and no, the connection is already there. So rather, what we have to do is just realize the connection. We must find it and acknowledge our divine self. How can we hope to connect or contact the gods if we don't even acknowledge the divine within us, It's only through our divine self that we can connect or contact the gods. And vice versa. I mean, that is the path to the gods, you see. So it's not calling out, it's calling up, bringing consciousness into the realization that there is a higher consciousness, and that it's and that the mind is very complex, but that is the path to whatever you do spiritually. You see, it's not your lower consciousness that is connecting with the divine or the gods or anything like that. Your lower consciousness is connecting through, first connecting with your higher why am I pointing at my head? Whatever. Okay, but it's through the lower consciousness goes and connects with the gods through your higher consciousness or your divine self. I mean, the Delphic motto, know thyself, basically is hinting towards, if you know yourself, then you'll know the gods. You will be with the gods by knowing yourself. That's what we have to really learn. There's one more thing. I didn't write it down, so I'm just gonna wing it, because I really like this. I really do like this this little story. There's a story, okay, because the question is, okay, I have a divine self. Where? How do I recognize it? How do I find it? What is it exactly? A higher genius? I'm no friggin' genius, Okay, there's a little story that I heard once upon a time of the daughters, a master mystic's daughter. And now she was coming of age, and she was studying to go through the rite of passage, which she could do at coming of age. So her studies involved everything that she could see about the gods, but about the teachings of the mysteries. And she approached her father. Her father was a mystic, and asked him, well, how do I know divinity, my inner, how do I recognize it? How do I find my inner divinity? How can I even recognize it in others if I can't even find it in myself? So the father turned around and he said, that's easy. Remember, divinity means perfection or excellence, and that's basically how the ancient Greeks defined divinity. And then he said, we all have something that we're very good at, that we excel in, that we can achieve perfection with. And we usually call that talent. So that was a very, very, I found a very fine way of recognizing what your inner divinity would be. Talent. Not just, we're not talking artistic talent, any talent, whatever it is that you excel in. So by recognizing your talents, I'm not talented, I have no talents, that's because you haven't really tried everything. There is no way you don't have talent. We all have talent in something. It could be in washing feet. But we have a talent, everybody. And that's really where you start, you begin. You begin with that, you pay attention to your inner voice. If your inner voice is saying things like, why don't you kill yourself, or why don't you go in a shooting spree or something like that, I don't think that's them when I'm telling you that. I think that's your consciousness a little pissed off with daily activities. So, in other words, you have to know how to differentiate between what is you're them when not trying to communicate with you, or if it's just the effect of daily life shit. But that's really how because Vemwana is always communicating. You might feel pulled to the Greek gods, or you might feel like as though they are calling to you, or you're drawn to them. But it's not really the gods that are doing that. That's your divine self. That all your feelings, your inspirations, your thoughts, your intuition, all of this is what you need to pay attention to and work on. Okay, I didn't want to turn it into a big-ass lesson or anything like that on spiritual awakening, but basically, that's what really it takes to connect. Well, connect, you're not connecting, you're already connected. You need to wake this thing up. You know what I mean? Like, hey, open your eyes and look around you. You know, the gods are all around us. The gods are all around us. Take away the personification of the god, and guess what? When the wind blows from the north, I go outside and I say hi to Borealis. Why Borealis? Boreas, or the northern wind. Right in front of me, he comes and visits me. Nature all around is Dimitra. A lightning storm, Zeus. The gods are all around you. Just, learn how to see them. Learn how to listen to them. Learn how to understand their language. Because they don't talk in just words. Signs and omens, stuff like that. But I perfectly realize at the beginning of this video that a lot of you might be rubbing your hands together, okay, and expecting some sort of, I was going to give you some sort of ritual or or some sort of exercise to connect with the gods and everything like that. So, sorry. Okay, so in closing, this is what I'll tell you. If this is not what you are looking for to help you with the gods, perhaps it's too involved for you, or you don't want to work that hard to communicate with the gods. That's okay. Most ancient Greeks did not either, and would just find themselves an oracle. It's much easier, and it's a lot more sure that it is the gods you're communicating with than second guessing yourself if you really had contact or had their attention or whatever. So if you don't want to do what I just explained for the past 20 minutes or so, find yourself an oracle. A good one. You know, not a charlatan. Okay. So, I hope you learned something. I hope I didn't offend anybody. It is what it is. But if you really want a connection, if you really want contact, I mean real contact, not I'm bringing it on myself, or I'm, you know, deluding myself or whatever, you know. No, this is real. This is about the real thing, okay? If you want something else like that, then yeah, go find yourself a psychic or an oracle or what have you and play their game. But I like to be sure, and this is how I found my connection. And I talk to the gods every day. They visit me, I visit them. We have a relationship. And when I hear that people are having problems doing that, I'm a little bit perplexed. So, this is how it should be done, and it is what it is. So, I hope this was all good for you, and you have for yourself a great day, and keep safe.